Hello, and welcome to another tutorial with me, Ed the Shed. My name is Ed, but I'm not a shed. In this video I will be talking about the Clip Distortion plugin which uses nonlinear distortion. Right, let's press on. Now, this plugin might come across a little confusing at first, but all you need to do is understand the routing of it. Then, you will have a clearer mind on what's actually happening. So, let's break it down and understand this a bit better. The audio will begin by going through the drive, which is here. This is where you can adjust how much gain you want to apply to the input signal. Once the audio has gone through the drive, it then goes into the tone section, which is here. Now, this is actually a high-pass filter with a curve of 6 dB. So in other words, when I raise the slider, anything below my mouse that is light blue will be cut out. So now that I have my tone slider set at 1000 Hz, that means that everything below that frequency will be cut out, but with a gentle curve of 6 dB, like I mentioned earlier. Okay, the next section the audio passes through after that is the symmetry section. Right, get your buffing caps on, because I'm going to explain to you how nonlinear works and what it means. First of all, let me show you an example of a linear curve, here. In the linear curve, the values will increase and decrease proportionally. Now, let's look at a nonlinear curve. Notice that the nonlinear one is curved, and this means that when you change one value, for example the input, the other value does not necessarily increase by the same amount. So, looking back at the symmetry slider now, what exactly does this do? Well, the next part of the signal chain is the clip filter, which is actually a low-pass filter. If you can remember, before the symmetry section, the audio comes through the high-pass filter or the tone section. What is essentially happening in this plugin is, we are combining the signal of the high-pass filter and the low-pass filter together to create a mixed signal of the two. The symmetry slider sets the amount of nonlinear distortion applied. If you slide it to a positive %, then the curve will dip inwards, and if you slide it the other way, the curve will bulge outwards. Right, that's enough boring graph bollocks. So just to recap quickly, the tone is essentially a high-pass filter and the clip filter is essentially a low-pass filter, and you can choose how nonlinear you want the distortion to be between them with the symmetry slider. Okay, next up in the signal chain is the mix fader, and this is simply the wet, dry mix. If it's at 100%, then it means it's the complete wet mix and none of the dry mix, so somewhere in the middle is a mix of them both, but have a play around to your taste. Finally, it is routed into the low-pass filter. The section to the left of this adds a boost or cut in gain on the final signal using a high shelf. So, if I open up this equalizer, then you can see what I mean. If I brought my knob value down to, let's say, 1000 Hz and added 5 dB gain, then on an equalizer, it would look like this. Dot. Right, now you know what happens to your audio from start to finish along the signal path, and you know exactly what all the parameters do. This episode was a lot of watching and not much bloody doing, but now you can go and put your knowledge to the test and see what results you can come up with. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.